Welcome to the Fresh Patch Podcast, where we talk about everything from dog training to potty talk. It's time to save your rugs and get real. This episode is brought to you by Fresh Patch, featured on Shark Tank, Oprah, and The Today Show. And here are your hosts, Drew and Gabe.
Welcome everybody to the fourth episode of the Potty Talk Podcast. My name is Drew. We are here with...
My name is Gabe, and we have a special guest today, a couple special guests.
Yep, Aubrey and Johnny, stage name Pobry.
Yeah,
if you're wondering.
If you're not familiar, very popular on TikTok, Aubrey is, so give them a follow and check their page out. Been a great partner for us here at Fresh Patch. We've been... had the pleasure to work with Johnny for a couple years now, so thank you for being one of our partners and taking the drive to be down here with us. I know it's a lengthy one, but it's always a fun time having you here, so appreciate you coming by.
I love it. I love how, like, I don't want to say desolate, but how, like, kind of, like, Oxnard is its own, like, area.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. Yeah, it's a different scenery, coming from Orange County and stuff. And so if you've never been to Oxnard, a lot of farm fields here right by the coast, so nice little nook we have here. So if you are from the city, it is nice to come here and everything. But
yeah, for sure. And all the rains have been happening, so it's been super green out, which has been pretty cool to see.
Yeah, you're really experiencing it well right now. Because usually all the hills are dead and stuff, so it's starting to look more like Hawaii around here, which is nice. So, but no sunshine today, sadly. Hopefully we get some sun here in the next few months. But anyways, moving on. We wanted to just get you on here to ask you some questions about you and Pobry, and then just some potty talk questions, and how, potty training was with Aubrey. So we'll just dive right into it, and start with some questions. But we were interested in what was the motivation to start Pobry's page and why, and also did you get Aubrey as a puppy, and did you start the page like right away?
Yeah. Well, it's actually kind of funny because I got her as a puppy, and I think we had her for like 3 months before we posted anything, or even took photos of her. Like, we were just wanting to, like, she was a really bad puppy, so she took up like all of our time. Like, she was a crazy dog. Like, she would bite all the time, and it's cute, when their teeth are like not as sharp, but she had like the sharp kind where it was just like every time she would bite my hand, it would bleed. I'd try to pick her up to my face, and she would just bite me on the nose. My nose would bleed. I think I still have like a scar if you really look close. So we didn't do any content, but then I came from like the marketing world where I would run a lot of ads, and I started putting her, I had a jewelry brand at the time, and I started putting her in the ads, and like all of the ads were cheaper for me. So like it cost like half the price to reach more people. And I was like, this is like a hack,
People love dogs.
Yeah.
And then I found out about dog influencers. I think I kind of knew dog pages were a thing because I would like run like dog websites, and then I would like reach out to these pages, and they'd be like, here's like $50 for, they'd have 100K followers, and like here's like $50 to post. And then I was like, I'm just gonna start my own. I don't want to pay these dog pages.
Yeah.
And then I followed a few influencers at the time. I think like Brody, that dude, was one of them. And
classic.
Love that page.
Yeah.
That dog is like a legit celebrity.
Yeah. No, it's like, crazy. Like, insane. If you ever see him in public, like if you're ever like with him or anything, you like people come up to him like, oh my God, is that Brody? Yeah. Bro, like that's like, he probably gets that every single day he's out with Brody.
I see those videos of him at like the baseball game, and there's like crowds of people. Like, that's so cool.
Did he take him courtside too? To what? Like,
I think it was like
Lakers
game.
Right?
That's
like holding him up. I was like, that's so cool.
Oh, by the way, go Lakers for all Laker fans out there. Playoff starting.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets invited all the time. He'd probably turn some of them down. For sure,
for sure, dude.
But yeah, I actually got into like a clubhouse. I don't think that's even a thing anymore, but I got into a clubhouse with him and a few other dog influencers, and they just gave me a lot of tips, and it was really congruent with some of the ads that I was making for like my own websites and stuff like that. So I just started doing it, and I think my girlfriend actually posted one video and it went viral, and it was of her, like she had like a bee sting. And it went viral, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm gonna keep doing this." You know?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. No, your page is very inspiring. Like I was kind of saying off camera before.
Thank you.
It's motivating if you do have a dog, and you kind of want to. You see how this guy's running his page, you're like, wow, it looks really fun, and you're obviously kind of making a living off of it too a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is a perk. So, yeah, cool. We love Aubrey's page, and for all you viewers, we have actually 2 dogs in frame today.
Yes, we do.
They might pop in and out. They're obviously down there. They're chewing.
Yeah, Aubrey's right here.
Yeah, Aubrey's underneath. She's a little camera shy, but don't worry, we'll get her in frame before the episode's over.
We'll hear their voices a little bit.
Absolutely.
Oakley's being a bad boy down there. Hopefully he's not on frame, but whatever.
But yeah, no. It's one thing that I think is super cool about your page is like you can really like feel like the love and the connection that like you have with her.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Like you're really good at like bringing that out. What sort of tips would you give to someone who's like getting started and looking to go deeper and becoming like an influencer?
There's like I'll probably just like keep it surface level because like I really loved like to talk about like the like intricate details, but
of course.
I would say the best tip is just constantly film your dog, especially when they're doing something that you're like, bro, dogs don't do that. You know what I mean? Like because Aubrey does a lot of like dogs don't do that type things, and if you can get those on camera and connect them to like a specific emotion or like even just a trend or something, your video is like pretty guaranteed to go viral. Like if your dog's like, I seen a video, it was like this like dog, this like I think it might have been a cat. She was like the cat was just putting its paw in water, like in a cup of water.
Oh.
And then someone just titled it something funny. That's like a baseline.
Pranking your friend,
Yeah. It was like, this is why my water tastes like cat flavored or something like that. But
good.
it's like the same thing basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do a really good job. I've always said that with editing your videos.
Yeah.
And like your
Yes.
voiceovers and stuff are really, really killer. So,
That means a lot because I get like a comment all the time, and I actually kind of know this, but my voice kind of sounds like Kermit the Frog. Like it's like a little like deeper and like it's like people think I need to just go like but I really don't. It's just like
it's so funny.
I'm just like have a long neck or something. I don't know.
Well, I think your voice sounds great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
It definitely pops like in the videos. It's unique.
I was just gonna say,
that's
it's a very unique voice, which brings it all together in your
For
videos
sure.
really, really well.
Yeah.
And like I've always been impressed by how you edit and cut and like have the voiceover in there and stuff. So
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, a lot of pages will like kind of give their dog a voice, a personality.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's cool that like you're able to do that without like actually like speaking for her. Like I feel like I know Aubrey's personality. And like so.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
I have friends that do the voice, and there's nothing wrong with the voice. I just like it's like so much harder for me to like talk from her perspective,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially because I think like if I were to make her voice, it would be a little disrespectful. Like she doesn't like
sassy.
Yeah,
like,
she'd be like sassy and stuff like that. So I'll just keep it to my voice. Like
That's cool. It's more like genuine that way.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
Which is cool.
Her voice would be a little R-rated, like it'd be a little
Spicy.
meaner. Yeah.
Cool. So mentioning that you had her since she was a puppy. How was potty training?
Potty training was like, it was a nightmare, only because she didn't listen like to anything. So it was really hard. Like initially we had her at my girlfriend's parents' house, and she got accustomed to like putting her paws on sand and using the restroom. And I didn't even know it was a texture thing, right? So then we moved into the apartment we live in now, and Aubrey, come here. She's all right. Yeah, she's all right. She's all right.
Hey.
But she got accustomed to sand. So then we moved into our apartment now, and we had these like, it wasn't fresh patch initially. It was like this like turf style material. And those things are so nasty.
Oh, God.
And I'm not just saying that because we're on the Fresh Patch podcast. They're so gross. Do never invest in a turf style potty thing because they're good for like a month. And then like the residue of like pee and everything, unless you're washing it like every 3 days or something, like it just starts to have this horrible smell. I think I even got like a complaint from my upstairs neighbor where like it just smells so bad. Like they must be, I had to literally go and like wash the thing. But when you live in an apartment building that is like above the first floor, you don't get like a hose or anything.
Yeah.
So I had to just pour water on it. And then at one point we kept getting complaints. So I had to take it into the shower. And then at that point I was like, that's disgusting. I'm getting fresh patch. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
no,
that,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've used like the turf before too. One thing about it is like, yeah, like you wash it, it helps a little bit, but then it still smells, and then two, you get kind of like that mildewy kind of smell.
Yeah,
to it.
it's like, and then
nasty.
it was so gross.
The water just gets trapped in it, and then you're screwed. Like I've dealt with it too, and yeah, I scrubbed mine. Like I got I think it was like Simple Green turf cleaner, like a hard bristle brush, and I took like 3 hours on it, like just to really try, and then let it out to dry, and it just didn't dry fully, you know. So
I mean, I would say it works if you can hose it every single day and clean it once a week with like soap.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's the only time it works.
Hey.
But
I think Oakley's in love.
Yeah, I think Oakley.
some lovebirds here, and hey, not on camera.
I love it. Fresh Patch Podcast. We're matchmakers. We're bringing the pups together. So you know,
look, Oakley wants. Oh, look at she tossed you a ball.
Hey,
she tossed you a ball.
Wanna come up here?
oh,
Okay, that's enough. We gotta distract him with our chicken trainer treats.
yeah, yeah. The chicken trainers. If your dog's a barker, it works great. So, you know, would suggest that to anybody.
Aubrey's had hundreds of bags of them, you know.
We always say they're dog tested. So
Yeah.
Dog tested, dog approved. All camera angles. We got some.
Oh yeah.
look at that.
To get their attention.
All of a sudden, he's well behaved.
All of a sudden, he's
Yeah.
Yep. Good boy. Good boy. All right, Aubrey. We're gonna give one to your dad.
You come up here.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh, there we
There you
go.
You
Get her beautiful
always
face
lay
in
down.
I always
frame.
forget I can disconnect this mic, so
Yeah.
I can just pop it out. But
Keep that in mind.
yeah. However, okay, guys,
Lay down.
that was it for now. Behave. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're trying to record. See, look at these. I mean, check it out. Freshbatch.com. Check
Oh, yeah.
out the treats. Find it by themselves or in our starter set. Obviously,
Oh yeah.
dog tested, dog
do the
approved. They might even start barking again because, like, so. Sorry, listeners. If you're headphone users, be warned.
You can expect some barks on our podcast.
Yeah,
most
I
of the
think
time.
that would only be fair.
Right?
Right,
Exactly. Cool. All right. Well, moving on. Thanks for all that insight and stuff. And going back to, I was going to mention before, but you're saying Aubrey was a big biter and stuff. And I've noticed that Goldens, when they're puppies, have way sharper teeth than most dogs.
Yeah.
Like we went and did a photo shoot of another partner, a golden puppy, and oh my gosh, like I was like, oh, it's so fun and stuff, and then all of a sudden my fingers in the mouth, and
dude.
I was like, whoa, this is sharp. Like I don't know, I feel like other puppies just it's a golden thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I actually got her to stop biting me because she would bite me, and then I saw on TikTok someone say, like, if your dog bites you, just scream as loud as you can. It'll scare them so bad they won't do it. No, I really did. And she I have a video. I'll send it to you guys if I could find it. She's biting me, and then I just like scream as loud as I can, and she just kind of like makes a face. And I swear, like from that day on, it was like she never bit me as hard as she did then. Like if I really like play with her rough, she'll bite me hard, but
Yeah.
like she won't ever do it intentionally or just to play. She won't ever bite me hard. So
No, dogs are really good at like reading emotions.
Yeah.
You know, so like if they see like, oh, this is causing you pain, like, you know, that does something to them. So
Yeah.
That's a
Get
great
that.
tip.
I'm gonna do that with
You know
Oakley.
what's so unfortunate, I feel like, is like when puppies are, you know, puppies, like just in general, like when they're most cute and you just want to cuddle them and play with them all the time, they're also the most ferocious. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
like they have no boundary. They don't care. They don't know what's.
Menaces.
Yeah.
I got a senior pup and he's the most well-behaved, cuddly dog and listens to
yeah.
us. But man, when he was young, he was a handful.
Yeah. Seriously.
Sweet. All right. Yeah, moving on. I think we kind of covered this already, but we could go over it again. But what was the turning point for you and Aubrey's page? Like when was, I think you kind of mentioned, but you know, when you were really like, I'm going to put a lot more time into this, and was there just like a certain partnership that got you to be like, wow, this is worth it, or just you're having fun with it and you're like, I'm just gonna, you know, go on and
I think after the first viral video of like this like bee sting, and I was like, oh well, I kind of get what the formula is. It, you know, it makes like sense, and I think I could post more videos, and I was just posted more and more and got traction, and then I was like, oh wow, I'm like, this going viral is like so fun, you know, you get like you reach like millions of people, so just started posting more. And then I think I want to say it was the farmer's dog that reached out to us, and I was like, oh, sick. And then I think if it was either the farmer's dog or a jewelry company, but then I think you guys were like third. Like someone from Fresh Patch reached out, and I was like, oh, this is so perfect because I already love Fresh Patch. Like this is like this is awesome. And then. Yeah, okay. I figured that was coming. Yeah.
Friendly viewers, some entertainment, some on-camera entertainment.
Yeah.
From Aubrey.
She approves of the couch.
She will sometimes like just take this like position before, like, because she wants. This is like how she wants the butt scratches. She'll just like do that, and then like she'll look at me.
The exaggerative like
That's
dig
so
of the
funny.
head into the like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so cute. Does she like burrow? Like, will she like put her nose in your armpit and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
like she just likes to burrow into things that like she can spread her like fur on. So like mostly the couch and bed or whatever.
Dude, she's going in.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're glad you're comfortable, Aubrey.
Yeah.
You know, we
I
really
think we just found a new form of enrichment.
Yes, exactly. The Fresh Patch Potty Talk couch.
Yeah. Available soon.
Oh man! All right, cool. Well, no, thanks for all the insight. It's really great to hear. And you know, for viewers, people like me that want to start creating a page for their dog and stuff. Getting that insight and exactly how fun and kind of easy it is once you just start getting that content together and stuff. Now, Oak is jealous because she was messing around.
Okay. Time to bring out the chicken trainers.
Time to bring him back out. Get him on par.
Aubrey said chicken. You said chicken.
Can someone say
Par
chicken?
again. Sit. Good boy.
Cool. So
Down.
another thing that we wanted to ask about, and I'm sure like some of your longtime viewers are curious about as well, but like what's Aubrey like at home? Does she have that same sort of like sassy personality and like all that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah. Like she's definitely like I think most Goldens listen well. I don't think I trained her enough to listen to each command unless she has something. So she's very like, I'm not doing something unless I get something out of it. And it's like the worst because, people will be over and she's more excited to play with people than she is to like just get a treat or ball. So when people come over, it's like, she's not even like she never listens to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
But she's also really weird, and I think that comes out in a lot of the videos. Like she does like weird stuff like that, or
She's got the dance in between the legs, right?
Oh yeah.
That with her lately,
Yeah, she loves that. That's like that's one of them for sure. But she also like steals our clothes, and I swear we had a year where she didn't do this, but she steals our clothes out of the basket, and she just like goes somewhere and then she just like looks at us with like the clothes in her mouth, and she doesn't rip the clothes or anything. She just wants us to chase her. And then
awesome.
I think we just maybe too many times we chased her and it just stuck. And
Yeah,
now
it's a routine now. She's like,
Yeah.
I know what to do to get them to chase me.
Like if I'm in the bath or something or in the shower and then like she comes in, she'll just grab like my socks and she'll just leave. And then as soon as I get out of the shower, she'll still have them in her mouth, just waiting, like.
Like, I'm not
It's playtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you want. I was gonna,
forgotten.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you want this back, so like you're gonna have to chase me.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, yeah, and then does she still have? I know some of your videos. Has some balcony boyfriends.
Yeah. No, she gets around. To in my neighborhood, this started off as I think the first dog that it started off with was my neighbor's golden retriever. And he's like right below us. And luckily they're still there after like all these years. But she would just stare at him playing. And, she would start getting like the tappy toes where she really wanted to go see him.
happy feet.
Yeah, the happy feet. And then we eventually met and, we posted all this stuff on TikTok and it went viral because they're two golden retrievers like, meeting. And the other golden retriever loves her. But she, I think, has found more boyfriends since then, so she doesn't give him the time of day anymore.
She's a ladies' man.
Yeah.
Don't tell Oakley.
Don't tell Oakley. Shh, cover your ears. Cover your ears.
Yeah. No, we have other dogs that, they just kind of watch each other. But occasionally she'll bark at them, and then I go out there, and then she's just staring at them like, hey, we gotta set something up. So, of course, like we invited them over, and then I filmed that, and then we had like it all kind of came together as this like doggy block party, and eventually I just like invited people from TikTok and Instagram, and out of that whole like situation, I set up this like RSVP list, and we had like over like 2,000 RSVPs. I don't know how many people actually came, but there was a lot. Like you guys were there, yeah. You guys were there,
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure close to 2,000.
Yeah,
like, it was. It didn't stop the entire day.
That's awesome.
Like usually events that you'll see it die down, hour and a half, maybe toward last hour and a half. But it was like there was a line at that photo booth like till the end, like the 360 one. So
yeah,
that's crazy. Aubrey's famous.
She is.
What can you say?
She is indeed.
Yeah.
That face. Look at that. She is staring at me so hard. She's like, you have that bag of treats. You give me one, so that means there's more.
Don't worry, plenty more to come. Plenty more to come.
You will be paid. You will be paid for being here today.
Yeah, I got some comments. I got a ton of great comments, and then other people were like, yeah, it was. I expected it to be bigger, or expected to be like have more things to do, and I was like, this is like literally my apartment building. Like this is literally where I live. I like all these people. This is my first time ever doing this. Like I was like, I am not like I'm not throwing like a. Like a carnival or anything.
Yeah,
like,
it's more of a meetup.
Yeah, this is like a cool meetup, but no, it was really cool, and then everyone loved it. I still have people come to my dog parties that came to that one.
Nice.
Once in a while, like I'll be out, and then they're like, "Wait, did you throw like a dog party in like Orange County or whatever?" And then they'll stop me and we'll talk about it. But, yeah,
man, that's super cool.
Yeah.
She's on her way to being like Brody the dog. Take her to baseball games and all that. Getting the crowds around her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know we kind of touched on this too when you were talking about her potty training process and stuff, but would you recommend Fresh Patch to pet owners?
Oh no!
Like yourself?
No way. No. Yeah, of course. Like Fresh Patch is like it's. I would even say I would always say if you live in an apartment, like you need Fresh Patch if you have a dog. But I think even if you live in a house, because like we have a dog potty area, but where like there's just grass there, the grass dies immediately from all the dogs. So I think it's even good if you don't want a piece of your grass to die. Like it's like
totally.
Like if you think about it, you don't really lose anything. Like the Fresh Patch gets switched every like 2 weeks or like a month or whatever. I would always recommend Fresh Patch, especially if you live in an apartment. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I tell that to people all the time. Even if you're just killing your grass, like just get it fresh. But like we deliver real grass to your door, so just like make it easier on yourself. Save your actual lawn, or if you're in an apartment,
Yeah.
Don't go to the turf or pee pads where you're either cleaning it every hour or daily.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense. So.
Well, and imagine like having to hold like your pee when you have to go like as a human, and you can only wait every other hour, like. Or every couple hours, or
it doesn't make sense. Just give them
sense.
the freedom. You have the patch right there. It's their bathroom, just like we have free will to go to the bathroom, and it also helps with health too. You don't want them to be holding their pee, and that'll create kidney problems and stuff.
Yeah,
and, So it's there to really, even if you don't need it, like there's still benefits to it, whether it's health or just giving them the free will to go potty, like humans can.
I mean, we always say like, from what we've seen of like videos that we're tagged in and stuff like that. The dog owners who get Fresh Patch are like the owners who go above and beyond.
Oh, no,
and,
for
like,
sure.
Are there for their dogs no matter what. So that's super cool to see that.
So, and it does suck to see comments and stuff. We talked about that in our last episode of people just like, trying to roast people who use Fresh Patch. And it's like, you don't even know the true story. Like, you're just judging a book by its cover. Like, there's dogs are actually treated so well. And like, we're looking out for our dogs. We're not being here to be lazy. It's just trying to give them a better situation, and, potty freely.
Like one of my videos I had, and Fresh Patch was in it. It was on my balcony. It was like another corgi watching, or my dog watching another corgi. I had like just a small Fresh Patch square. I think I had just done a video with you guys, and it got over like 30 million views. And the top comment was like, massive lawn. Like, you have a huge lawn. I was like, dude, that would make me laugh for so long. But I was like, dude, I walk my dog, obviously, like, you know, and then of course I always get comments or messages like, if you loved your dog, you would like buy a house. Well, I'm like, dude, I live in Southern California, like I can't afford a house. I promise you, I would. Yeah.
Good luck.
And then that goes back to like if I had a house, I might still get fresh patch.
Exactly.
Because, like, I don't want to ruin my lawn with pea stains. Keep that pretty. Make a nice designated area for them to where they know where to go. You're keeping everything nice. So no, for sure. The comments get rough sometime with fresh patch, and it's just it's fun. It's funny sometimes, but it's also annoying. It's just
one of the funniest ones that I saw was like we got tagged in a TikTok, and it was a gamer. It was a guy who didn't even have a dog. And he like pans the video down, and it's like underneath his gaming setup is a fresh patch, and it's like, yeah, someone told me to touch grass, so I got a fresh patch. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So for all you gamers out there, touch grass.
Touch grass.
We deliver fresh, real grass to your door. So if you're up all night playing video games, why not get some grounding in? And
absolutely,
whip the feet out, and
just was his bare feet just on the grass?
Bare feet on the grass. Oh my god.
Dogs out.
Yeah. I was like, respect to you, brother. Yeah, respect to you.
Exactly. So that one had a little viral. That one, the comments were going off there.
Oh, did he? That's funny.
That was really cool to see. So, pass it over to you.
Definitely. Just wanted to touch on. You were kind of like mentioning it earlier, but like, what kind of stuff is going on for you guys? Any events coming up? Any big plans or anything like that?
Yeah. So this year I want to do more like dog charity stuff. So awesome. I've been to a few events and whatever, but I just got invited to do a dog charity in downtown LA, and we're gonna be supporting. It's gonna be like a puppy yoga thing, so that's gonna be really cool.
It sounds like you need some real grass yoga mats.
Oh yeah,
Grounding yoga puppies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're still figuring out like what the amount of people is, because I think I threw a dog party there, and there might have been too many people. Like I let too many people pass the guest list.
Gotcha.
Like the day of, a lot of people were like, "Oh hey, I didn't RSVP. Can I still come?" And then I was like, dude, for sure. Hell yeah, you can come. Because if that was me, I'm a very last minute guy. So like I probably would have like RSVP'd late or whatever. So I was like, don't worry about it.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah. Even though I did close the guest list, I still let a lot of people in. And I think like that kind of, the building wasn't mad or anything, but they were like, yeah, there's a lot of dogs here. Like, I don't know. We don't, because at some point it's like an insurance thing or whatever.
Was that... Were we there? No, I don't know if we were at that one.
Yeah, I think you guys might have been there. Yeah.
Are your followers like pretty interactive with you? Would you say like?
It depends on what I post, but yeah, for the most part, like I probably get messages every day, like of
That's cool.
Just like random stuff.
And, like
yeah.
When's your next event?
I think it's funny when like brands will email, but they'll like treat it like as if they're emailing her. And I know this is like a dog. I know this is like a dog influencer thing or dog creator thing. Is like they like I know some people respond as their dog.
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm like, dude, I couldn't go through a whole chain of like, oh hey, like thanks for this or
we get some of the punniest emails.
I was gonna say it's so funny that you mentioned that, because like what I do is like partnership management.
Yeah.
So like I work directly with a lot of like dog influencers and creators and stuff, and it's a funny workaround, because like when we're sending them packages, like we want to get their first name, but we could tell that like maybe they're a little private about it, or maybe they like enjoy being the personality of the dog. So it's like, oh, like how do I ask for their name without like rubbing them the wrong way or whatever. So that's a really funny thing that I've noticed as well.
Yeah, like, hey, Oakley, what's your dad? Can your dad come to the computer?
Exactly. I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's
a lot of
funny.
customers for Fresh Patch too will put, like when I was working in the warehouse, it would just be their dog's name, like being delivered and stuff, and we were always so because there's just some random ones where they're like, there's no way this is a human name, like, and then you kind of like sit and you're like, oh, dog, like it's does, but last name and everything, so it like tricks you for a second, but that's funny.
I get Aubrey PR packages all day, like every single day I get one, and it's just like says Aubrey. I'm like, oh cool, I don't care, like that doesn't bother me like at all, unless it doesn't get to me.
I feel like the dog is Aubrey, right?
Yeah.
Like you're Johnny. but like together you're Aubrey.
Aubrey, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The package. Cool. Well, yeah, wrapping it up here. We're going to ask this question to all our guests, but what is your best memory with Aubrey?
It's a good. I mean, I have a lot of great memories with Aubrey, but I would probably say like the first dog party that we had because I was so worried. Like the day before, I posted about a few days before I had posted about the party, and then it went viral. And even though people like RSVP'd, I was so worried that like no one was gonna come, and then it was just gonna be like a bunch of vendors, and it was gonna be like a few people, and then it was just like I walked down there with her, and I could just see like a ton of people with their dogs. There's a lot of golden retrievers too, and awesome. I was like, is that maybe it's like someone might be having like a birthday party? Because in my apartment building they would have it by like the chairs, but they were all like lining up to come into the dog party. It was like such a cool experience because. You can get like 1 million views, but it doesn't feel like 1 million people are watching anything. But when you see people in person and you get to like talk to them, and you guys both have the same like love for dogs, it really feels great.
Yeah, puts it in perspective a little bit. I always tell people that like it's like you get 1 million, like you just said, 1 million views, and it's like imagine like standing in a stadium of like 1 million seats. You know what I mean? And, like just standing in the middle, and it's like. Putting it in a physical aspect, it's so mind-blowing to me. It's like, you don't really bat an eye at it when you get it digitally. But if you were actually to put yourself, in your situation, seeing actually 2,000 people show out for your dog, for their dog, like, yeah, cool feeling, I bet.
It's one of the most, like, rewarding things about working here. Like, it's something that I can truly get behind because, like, who doesn't love dogs, Dogs are, like, the ultimate connector of people, and so
man's best friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like dogs, I probably don't like probably not a big fan of you. So
exactly, we won't be friends.
No, absolutely not.
Cool.
But that was definitely I've had just meeting people that also love dogs, or that's probably it.
Yeah, well, nice. Well. Thank you very much for coming on to episode 4 of the Potty Talk podcast. We really appreciate your time. Aubrey, you as well. Here's some more payment for you. Chicken trainer treats, but
our employees are paid, OSHA. We hope you're watching.
Yes, we make sure everyone is paid well here, especially
just with treats. Just with treats. Don't get any ideas, Aubrey.
So all our office pups, I mean, they're actually to the point now where like I tried to film Oakley last night, and he was just like not having it. And I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, he's been trained. He knows he needs treats to be on camera.
No, so, when we come grab the dog, like the marketing team, like they're like, oh yeah, it's treat time. Yeah. Like we know we're getting some.
Especially this room too. We know that as soon as we get in this room, they're like, oh, something's going down. Either podcast, photo shoot, treats are coming out. So but thank you guys for making the drive again, and we really appreciate you being a Fresh Patch partner as well. And we're have a lot of fun things planned for the rest of the year too. It's a pleasure working with you.
Of course,
Gabe, I don't know if you wanted to
you guys do
say anything else. But.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, thank you for making the drive out. I know it's driving through LA is not fun. So we really appreciate that. And, just want to give you a second maybe to like plug your accounts, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah. No, I mean, follow Aubrey. But, get Fresh Patch, too. You have to get Fresh Patch. Like, if you love your dog. But if you don't love your dog, don't worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like us, good pets get it. So
absolutely.
If you got a good pet, make sure you get Fresh Patch. But, give this guy a follow. At Aubrey on TikTok. And that's at Aubrey.
Everywhere.
Yeah, give him a follow. If you're not following Fresh Patch, give us a follow at Fresh Patch on all socials. You can check out our Potty Talk podcast on YouTube. Spotify. It's also posted on our website, so don't be afraid to go listen to it, view it. We really appreciate all the views, and leave comments. We'd love to answer new questions and also get new people on. So if you are interested in making a drive or anything, we are accepting guests right now. I will say spots are filling up quickly, but we'd love to have some more partners on or just Fresh Patch customers in general. So thank you again, and this will conclude episode 4 of the Potty Talk podcast. So tune in, everybody. Give us a follow. Check out freshpatch.com, and we'll see you on the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Potty Time Podcast, brought to you by Fresh Patch. We hope you enjoyed the show. Give us a like or a follow, or shop all of our real grass supplies at freshpatch.com.